to start with, we're going to talk about swing practice. So basically the development model has all of the hitting stuff broken into either game practice or swing practice. And game practice obviously is the execution of the various skills in a game type situation, including, situational hitting stuff like hit and runs, or moving a runner over from second to third, driving a runner in from third base either with a ground ball or a fly ball, hitting with runners on base, two-strike hitting, all of that sort of stuff. Competing against a pitcher who's got good stuff. That's what we call game practice, learning those skills, all of the things that we have to do in that. But swing practice is what we do in terms of trying to develop the swing. And I guess one of the things that's a little bit different about this hitting philosophy is that rather than working on the mechanics of the swing to create a swing that produces line drives, this philosophy, I guess, goes basically in the other direction. So we start from basically just trying to be consistent as we can in hitting a line drive. So what's a line drive? A line drive is a ball that comes off the bat basically at this angle, so it's sort of between just above horizontal and say 40 odd degrees. So yeah, basically line drives like this. If we can get the ball to come off our bat in that sort of manner, that's success. That's what we want to try and achieve. So when we do that, obviously it gives that ball the greatest chance of falling safely for a hit, and that's what we're trying to get consistent at. So all of our drills basically revolve around that. So we basically start from the simplest of drills, and we just try and have the hitters learn how to be consistent at producing that. So the simplest of drills basically is your tee drill. So most of our stuff usually starts from the tee, and then we progress from there. So what we're going to talk about here today is we're going to go through some drills, and I suppose we've broken them down into stages. So we're going to start with our stage 1 drills, and we're going to progress from there. So our stage 1 swing practice drills basically just involve trying to get the hitter to be as consistent as possible at producing a ball that comes off the bat at this angle, and preferably with backspin. We want to obviously produce backspin because it helps the ball to travel further, obviously stay straighter and go further. So basically all we're going to do is we're going to get Shane to set up wherever he likes in relation to the tee. He's got the freedom to stand up wherever he wants in relation to the tee, as long as his shoulders and feet are lined up basically directly towards the pitcher. And then we're just going to let him swing away. Mate, you've still got it, not bad. Right out the chute. Now, not everyone's going to look like that. It's taken many years to get to this stage. Oh, you've still got it. All right, but basically, this is all we're trying to do. We're just trying to get to the stage where we consistently create that sort of angle with backspin. Now, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but Shane's ball just has a little bit of fade this way, which just means his spin, the rotation on his ball is just slightly off center a touch, and we've got a bit of a headwind today as well, which exaggerates that, that rotation of the ball. So you might see the ball fade just a little bit. All right, so this is all we're doing. We're just focused on trying to get the ball to leave at that angle with rotation, and then we use the flight of the ball off the bat as feedback about his swing. All right, so right now, obviously, Shane's done this before, and he's doing pretty well. But now see if Shane's good enough. If Shane's good enough to roll over and hit a ground ball to the infield, no, he still can't help it. Old habits die hard. There you go. Now, obviously, he kind of changed his swing a little bit there, but one of the first things that you can do, rather than diving straight for mechanics, is work out where he made contact with the ball. Now, for the ball to go on the ground, obviously, which surface of the ball do you have to hit? Yeah, you have to hit the top surface of the ball, which obviously on the last two, that's what Shane's done. All right, so, all right, let's, in that situation, what we would do, we'd give him feedback just to hit a little lower on the ball. So same thing again now, hit lower on the ball, and he's back to hitting our line drive again. All right, so without even basically changing anything with regards to his mechanics, we've had, a different outcome based on the cue, the feedback that we gave him, or his intent of the process. So his intent in this case was to hit the ball, but rather than hitting it at the top part of the ball, we just changed that intent to hit the bottom half of the ball. And as such, changed his approach, changed the movement slightly, and had a better outcome. Okay, in terms of the mechanics of the swing, this philosophy is really, really simple, and this is one of the things that I really like about it. In terms of mechanics, all we want to talk about is basically just making sure you have a load, so making sure you go back before you go forwards, and then just making sure that you accelerate the barrel through the hitting area. So as Shane's bat comes through this area, wherever he's making contact, if he's hitting the ball to left field and it's over here, or if he's hitting the ball to right field and it's out here, wherever it is, he's just really trying to accelerate the barrel through the contact zone. All right, so in terms of mechanics, really simple. Just make sure you go back before you go forwards. And again, there's lots of variation in how people want to do that, but there must be some movement back before we go forwards. And then we're really trying to accelerate the barrel through the contact zone. Good. All right, so right here, we just want to make sure that Shane has a load, some sort of backwards movement before he goes forward. That's good. Now, a lot of hitters vary considerably in terms of the type of load that they have. Some people just have a little load. Some people have a big load with potentially a leg kick and all that stuff as well. All that stuff is okay as long as there is at least some sort of load. One of the things that I just wanted to talk quickly about is creating a position of extension, so basically maximising our bat head speed at contact. We talked about one of the key things about this development process is trying to accelerate the barrel through contact. Now, one of the things that you can help a young hitter understand how to generate bat speed is to make sure that he's making contact at the point in his swing where his bat is basically accelerating the most. Right? So if Shane was to take a swing right now and stop at the point of contact, right, if you can see it right here, he's extended and he's basically, anyone who knows anything about physics will tell you that if the lever is the longest, that's the point in the swing when basically the bat head has maximum velocity. So it's actually just at this point here, which wants to happen, yeah, basically just prior to that. No, you're right where you were. That's about where it wants to happen because it's accelerating to its maximum through this area here. You'll notice where Shane has the tee set up. Take a swing, mate. And where he makes contact, it's considerably out in front of that front side. One of the most common things that you will see young hitters do is they set the tee up, back in your stance, they set the tee up basically even with the front leg or even a little bit behind, and then let's say there, and then if you take a swing and stop at the point of contact, that's where they're basically trying to hit the ball from. And you're certainly not, as you can see by this point here, he's not in a position of extension. So again, if the barrel is not going to reach maximum bat head speed until this position of extension, which happens here, how is he ever going to generate any power from that position? Usually what you'll find is, as he sort of did there, in order to try and get the barrel to the point of contact, he changes his swing mechanically. Yeah, and the barrel drops, you can see the head's going down, or he's leaning back and that sort of thing to try and get the barrel there. And that's, you know, that makes the mechanics of the swing look pretty awful, but it also, you know, affects his ability to make consistent contact. So a lot of times people will go straight for the fact that he's dropping that backside, or he's pulling off the front shoulder, or he's leaning back, or whatever it is, and try and change that, when realistically all we need to do is help him understand that if he can make contact out here, his swing is perfect. So take a swing again and stop. Again, that's a much better contact point. Again, we're not necessarily just going to give a young athlete the answer to that. We want to try and help draw that information out of him. So, as I said right from the start, it's important in this drill that you allow the athlete the freedom to stand anywhere they want in relation to the tee. So again, if they start here, so let's put the ball there, let's hit some balls and see what happens. Right. All right, so he hit it on the barrel, he hit it reasonably hard, but where did the ball go? Well, the ball went straight into the ground. So, as you can see, again, it's hard even for a hitter like Shane to get the barrel to the ball when it's not in a good contact point. If you watch, now take your swing in slow motion, Shane. So you watch the barrel comes down through this part of the swing, and then as it comes to here, it starts to flatten out, and then actually just up here, it starts to come up again, because the swing path is actually circular. All right, so if you make contact back here, and the barrel is coming basically down to the ball, where is the ball more likely to end up? It's more than likely going to end up going down into the ground, right? So if we're trying to make contact at a point that maximizes both the bat head speed at contact and obviously the consistency of the angle of the ball off the bat being that sort of line drive that we were talking about earlier, then we need to try and make contact. Try it again, Shane. So slow motion swing, the barrel comes down, starts to flatten out through here and starts to come up at this point. This is the point in the swing that we want to make contact. All right, so take another couple of swings and see if you can see the difference in the trajectory of the barrel at contact. And that ball was hit right on the nose and stayed perfectly straight. That was exactly what we want. So realistically, in a hitter's count, this is the kind of position that we want Shane to make contact with the ball. And again, you can see it's right out in front of that front foot. He's very much extended at the point of contact. This is maximizing his bat head speed at contact. Even though he's not trying to swing hard, right, he's just making contact, maximizing the mechanical efficiency of his body. All right, so that's perfect. That's the sort of stuff that we want to try and have the hitter understand. So the more we do this and the more we experiment with the hitter and allow him to stand in different positions, eventually he's going to work out that when he puts the ball here, his swing is most consistent. So again, if we, try some from here, take a swing there, mate. All right, Shane's pretty good, so he can adapt a little bit. Put it there, try it again. Same thing. Oh, line drive the other way, you know how to work it. Keep your hands inside it. Come on, mate, I'm trying to prove a point here.
All right, sorry.
Don't hit the camera, will you? If I go this way. Yep, so again, when you hit the ball that deep, more likely it goes into the ground, unless he can find a way to get himself extended at that point. Now again, for him to get extended, the ball that deep in the contact zone would probably have to be a bit further away. And we'll talk about that a bit more when we get to our other, some of our more progressed drills. But basically what we're trying to do in the stage 1 drills is just to get them to understand their contact point, where their contact point needs to be to maximize the bat head speed at contact and produce the most consistent line drives off the bat.